Not your bananas.
What's wrong with these bananas?
They're overripe.
They're overripe?
Yes, they have brown on them.
This is a perfect banana, I'll have you know.
It's brown.
It's brown. Welcome back to the vlog. I leave for Germany tomorrow, very, very quickly. So if you know when I leave for Germany, you'll know what day we film this. The day before I left for Germany.
Cat's out of the bag.
But what I wanted to talk about was kettles because I recently got a brand new cool ass kettle. And then I thought, hey, the coffee journey that we all go on starts usually after you've stopped going to Tim Hortons or Starbucks for their consistently terrible coffee by making coffee at home. Now, you can obviously buy a machine, a Keurig, and do all that sort of stuff. But once you've upped your coffee game, you tend to get into things like pour-overs, which could be V60s, it could be a Chemex. There's a ton of really cool ones these days coming out that are beautiful.
Yeah.
Including by these guys. And so the journey that I think we all start with, especially, or that you might struggle with, is water disbursement over your coffee grinds. And that's because we all start somewhere along this line. So your everyday kind of grandma kettle, perfect for making tea, perfect for a big pot, you know, of hot water. Maybe you're making stock even, and you just heat this up and you got a nice big spout, you pour it in. It's really easy. It's beautiful in the sense that it does everything you really need it to do for boiling water. Except it's terrible for pour-overs. So this giant spout, which I can put a finger and my thumb in, well, most of my thumb, I guess, doesn't do you any favors when it comes to the accuracy required for a pour-over, which is why you end up with such thing as a gooseneck kettle. So after I got tired of spilling my coffee grinds and having these really weird situations with my coffee, I bought this beautiful Hario gooseneck kettle. Typically, these gooseneck kettles are smaller than your big fat grandma kettle, but that's because you need less water and pour-overs tend to be more accurate. So it's a beautiful, simple thing. It's less than $100. This one has taken a beating.
It was once beautiful.
It was once very, very beautiful. I do clean it on a regular basis with the old calcium cleaner.
Just not the outside.
Just not the outside. This has an amazing story that one day I'll tell everyone about and how I almost burned down a small village. This is an amazing kettle and has done me super, super well for years and years and years and consistently provided me with a good, above average experience for my pour-overs. And I'm so glad that I bought this kettle. Recently, I decided to make an investment into my pour-over game and ordered this unbelievably beautiful electric gooseneck kettle by Fellow Products from the team at 8 Ounce Coffee in Calgary, who again, we just happen to love a lot. Great service, beautiful options online, all that kind of stuff.
Fast shipping.
And fast shipping, yeah. So this is a step up in the game because it is an electric kettle. There is a base that will show you. And the neat part about it is you can put your water in and you can set with a PID controller, you can set the exact temperature of the water and then hold that water there for up to an hour actually. So
what's a PID controller?
It's basically a microprocessor in there with a sensor inside this. So at the bottom of this is a cool little sensor, which holds the temperature. So PID sensors are in your high-end espresso machines at home, again, to control the temperature of a broiler. But it's basically a way it's like a thermostat. Right. So it will hold your water at that temperature for you, or bring it up to a certain temperature. And so the PID controller in that allows you to set a very, very accurate temperature and then bring that coffee or that water, to that temperature and then hold it. Which is fantastic, you ask, because why do you need that? With this bad boy here, you put it on the stove, you put it on your gas or your electric stove, you heat it up, comes to a boil, water starts spewing out the top, you hear that sizzle sound, and then you basically have to shut it off.
This one doesn't have a sexy whistle. This grandma's kettle has a sexy whistle.
Yeah, it does actually. And so this kettle, geez, pot, coffee, calling the pot coffee. This kettle itself, once it comes up to boil, you want to take that off the boil, turn down the heat or remove it from the burner, and then let it cool down for a bit, because you do not want to put like 212°F, super hot, scalding, boiling water right on your coffee. And so you do want to find that sort of 195 to 202 range, which is an interesting thing. I often put a thermometer in the top, I take the lid off, I let it cool down, and I make sure that it's ready. And that just adds an extra step that is totally fine. If you got a thermometer, you got a quick one. I have a thermopen, it's really great. Put it in, second later you can kind of test that. And then as you process your coffee and you're pouring more and more water on, your water's cooling down, there's less water in this. And so you kind of get this, not super inconsistent, but it definitely changes the temperature of the water inside there.
Yes.
Where this, I can now set this at 95°C or 96°C or 97 or 98 or 9. You can basically control it to whatever degree of temperature you want, and then it's held there.
Like it goes up in 1 degree
Increments?
Increments, yes.
1 degree increments. It goes up just like that in Celsius or Fahrenheit, so you can be in the rest of the world or America. And you can then control that perfectly. So this water sits on, you pour, you let your coffee bloom, you put it back down, and even if it's dropped 1 degree, it brings it right back up to that. So you wait your 30 seconds or your 45 seconds for your bloom on your pour over, and then all of a sudden, bam, you're right back at the same temperature.
Yeah.
I have been using this for a week and absolutely love it. Because this one, for example, I wouldn't go to the shower. I would certainly come out of the shower in the morning, put that on, because I don't want it to boil over.
Right, yeah.
This one, I'm happy to put it on. I know that it's not going to go over. I know that it's not going to boil. It's not on the stove, so there's no element going. I put it on for something 95 or 96. I come back, it's held, it's already heated up. It's faster than this. And the reality of one thing I really like is I actually find that this is cut at a slightly flatter angle, where the Hario is a bit more aggressive if I do the angle. And I find that that allows you a little more control.
Yeah.
And that's the whole point about a gooseneck kettle. Because if you want a consistent pour over experience, you want to make sure that you're able to control the flow of water. So with a gooseneck kettle, you're able to just slightly adjust your wrist action like this to control the amount of water coming out.
So I mean, if you look at the difference,
it's pretty big. I can't even get a pinky in there, and I can get my thumb in that one. And so you're able to then control the amount of water that are coming out. So if you need to increase or decrease the flow.
Okay, I found this on the web for what's the time and control the amount of water. Check it out.
how did that happen?
Now that Siri's letting us search the internet.
It's been a day.
And also the real joy of this is you need the control. So if you dump this much water in on your kettle, you're going to move the grinds around too aggressively. You're going to shove them around. You're going to displace them. You might not evenly soak all the grinds, because the joy of that gooseneck kettle you're going to buy is that you're able to just run water slowly in small circles throughout all of the grinds, allow it to bloom, and come back and slowly fill this up so that you have this beautiful, evenly poured coffee. You've kept the disbursement rate flow nice. You haven't moved the grinds around too much, and then you get yourself a consistent coffee.
So, full disclosure, I'm still at this level.
Yeah.
No, well, I'm a step above this level. So I have a temperature-controlled electric kettle that has a large spout.
Yeah, you have an electric kettle. This is my first ever electric kettle. I've always gone with the range top, stovetop ones.
Yeah, so I can do the below boiling. I do like the French press setting on my kettle. So seeing as how I'm here-ish, I'm gonna say I'm here. So for our viewers and for somebody like me, what do you think is more important, the temperature control or the spout size? So
Wow.
should I be upgrading to say this guy, which isn't temperature controlled, but has the proper spout? Or do I stay with my temperature control with my larger?
This guy right here.
Okay.
And so this guy right here, even if you just pull it off the boil and let it settle for a couple of minutes, it's going to come down to the right temperature. Now, is it
Right.
perfect? No, but if you had an instant read thermometer that was fast, you definitely could ride that wave of temperature, and you then have automatically significantly better control and a more consistent coffee.
So you're taking away my ability to turn on my kettle before I get in the shower as well. So that's
Yeah. Your kettle is also great. And again, things like French presses, dump the water in.
Right.
Like a great kettle like this every day of the week is so good for 99% of the things you need to do. Pour overs just ask you to be a bit more consistent. So this little no pinky spout allows us to be consistent.
yes.
And
So
by us, I mean me.
So I need a weekend kettle.
You need a weekend kettle. I should say there is, I forget the name of it off the top of my head, maybe I'll put a link to it. There's a few new tools coming out that allow people without gooseneck kettles to slowly disperse the water. And so they're basically a stick with a little glass or ceramic plate on the bottom that you almost pour your water into, and then it raindrops out.
Oh, maybe
Yeah,
that's
so it's a
what I
neat
need.
thing that you hold like a chopstick with a little base on it, you pour the water, and you'd basically be able to move it around. Again, that allows you then that even kind of soft flow. Because the last thing you want to do is dump all your water in.
And I will say that I've mastered the light. I mean, mine isn't quite this shape, but I've mastered the very light pouring.
Yeah.
It's no gooseneck, and I know I'm doing it wrong.
You're doing it wrong.
But as somebody who doesn't want more things on her counter.
Well, and that's the hard part. As somebody who, now I have 3 kettles.
Yeah.
And so maybe this comes to work, and maybe then that adds to my work coffee, because again, the work coffee situation is currently pour overs with the V60s.
There's nowhere to warm that up at work.
Yeah. I will boil water and put it in this, and then pour out.
Efficient.
Efficient indeed. So that is the sexy, beautiful Fellow pot. It is so gorgeous. It comes in a couple of colors. Again, super easy base. The Hario one, if you're just looking for an intro that's less than $100. If not, keep grandma's kettle and just pull a Jamie and learn how to pour slowly.
I'm slowly upgrading. Just give me time.
Yeah. Anyways, I definitely feel like I'm going to Germany now for some reason. I feel like this
is very European design with the matte. I don't know if matte's
the handle is nice. You get this thumb. You can
It's so beautiful.
It's beautiful. They do amazing products. I don't know who the design does work for Fellow, but whoever is doing Fellow work is...
Did you know they started as Kickstarter?
Did they really?
Yep.
Amazing.
And now they make the most beautiful coffee things.
Yeah. So on that note, go buy yourself a Gooseneck kettle. Shop online. Get it from Amazon. Go to 8 ounce.
Go to 8 ounce.
Whatever you do.
Yeah.
Step
I'm waiting
up.
for a package from 8 ounce.
Really? What'd you get?
Maybe we'll see.
God, surprise. Maybe we'll have an unboxing.
Oh, that'll be fun.
Jamie's 8 ounce.
Yes.
Until next time, team.
I was gonna say keep fit and have fun, but then I realized that was probably trademarked.
Keep what? Keep fit
Keep fit and have fun.
What's that?
Body break?
Hal and Sue Johansson?
No.
Keep fit and have fun.
That's not right.
Hal Johnson? Sue?
Hal Johnson and Joanne McLeod.
Oh, sorry. They're not married. No. Keep fit.
And have fun.
Peace out.